Hi guys, so here we're going to talk about the beautiful metric system and how to convert between the units of the metric system. You'll need your notes, which are your pen and paper, and you'll also need your reference tables, so grab your reference tables. So we're just going to talk about the metric system and how to convert. So the metric system is based upon factors of 10. That's what makes it so beautiful. In the English system, it's like 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. I mean, I'd rather remember the number 10 than 2.54 any day. So Table C is here for you in case you ever need it, but we're pretty much going to go ahead through and label this. So we're going to start right here, between 10 to the third and 10 to the negative 1th. That's our base unit. In fact, go ahead and just highlight it right through. Anything above it, we move the decimal place over to the left to convert. Anything below that line, we move the decimal place over to the right to convert. Of course, that's one way. You can also multiply by certain factors too, so we'll look at those. So, first of all, the kilo, the prefix, stands for 10 to the third, which is really 1,000. So, this base number here, say for example it was in meters. Alright, so to go from meters to kilometers, or kilometers, we know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. If we go down, on the other hand, we can see that 1 decimeter is equal to 0.10 meters. And then we can still keep going. 1 centimeter is equal to 0.01 meters, and so on and so forth. And I know that because I'm using this the scientific notation right here. Really, this means 1 times 10 to the negative 2. So if I come over here, 1 times 10 to the negative 2, I go, put my decimal point down, 1, 2, move over 2 spots, sorry, and then, oh, it's not showing up for me, kiddos. Let's get rid of that. So if I have 1, go over 1, 2 spots, I know that a centimeter is equivalent to 0.01 meters, which is what I have over here. Alright, so that baseline, we can use meters, liters, joules. Joules, what's joules? Well, if you use table D, you find that joules is actually energy or work or quantity of heat, like listed right there. So if you ever get a unit and you don't know what it is, come over to table D. So we know M is meters, G is grams, PA is pascal, so that's going to be for pressure. K is in Kelvin, which is temperature. MOL is mole. So we'll talk about that later. That's the amount of a substance. J, as we saw, is joules. S is seconds. MIN is minutes. H is hours. D is days. Y is years. Capital L is liters. ppm, parts per million. That means concentration. Capital M means molarity. And a little u is something called, stands for atomic mass units. So that's just showing you some of the units that you might use. Oh, kind of going back through. So any of these you can kind of keep into the metric system. So for many of these. So for example, like minutes, we can actually even have milliminutes. Let's see, pascals, we can have kilopascals. You can use those numbers to help you. Alright, so one example is to convert 12,903 joules to kilojoules. So let's use a few different methods here. So we know joules is the base unit. We found that on table D. So let me go ahead to here. That's the base unit right there. And I'm going from joules, the base unit, up to kilojoules. So I'm going to move the decimal point over to the left however many times that exponent tells me to go. Alright? So if this is where my decimal point is, I'm going to move over 3 spots, 1, 2, 3, to get to kilojoules. So I have 12.903 kilojoules. So let me show you again how I did that. I knew that my base number was joules, and I wanted to get to kilojoules, so I went up and over 3 spots. I got that 3 from that exponent. The second one, I'm going to convert 0.00032 liters to milliliters. So let me erase some of this stuff. That liter is right here in my base unit. And I know if I go down from that base, I should move the decimal point over to the right. So let's see. If I'm at liters and I want to get to milliliters, Well, that exponent is -3, so I can show I go over 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. So I have 0.32 milliliters as my answer. Let's think if this makes sense. So 0.32 milliliters, that's going to be a really small number. Same thing with 0.00032. It's even a smaller number. So of course, always check to make sure your numbers make sense. Another way to do this is to look at the exponents. Alright, so let's come over here. I can look at 12,903. I want to convert that over to kilojoules, from joules to kilojoules. So it's 10, in this case, to the -3rd, so I move the decimal place over 3 spots. Same thing. Down here to the bottom, I have 0.00032. I want to convert that over to milliliters, so I'm actually going to have times 10 to the 3rd. So 1, 2, 3. Yep, that still makes sense. That still works for my numbers. Another way to do it, there's so many different ways to convert. That's the beauty of the metric system. Alright, so I have 0. Actually, let's come back up here and let me erase all of this. And let's go to this one. 12,903 joules. I can use conversion factors. Conversion factors are a beautiful thing. We'll be using that a lot here in chemistry. So pretty much I'm going to put this over 1. I'm going to multiply my next set. So between joules and kilojoules, well, I know that for every 1 kilojoule, there's 1,000 joules. Let's think about why I put my numbers the way I did. I have kilojoules on top because that's the unit that I want. Joules are on the bottom. I want to get rid of it. And in fact, I have joules here and there. I can cancel them right out. So then I have 12,903 divided by 1,000, which still gives you that same number as you had before. Okay, so that's one way. Let's look at the next one, 0.00032 liters. I want to convert that over to milliliters, so I'm going to put this over 1 as a placeholder because if you're fine without it and you can deal with fractions, that's good to go. But I found that many students, many of your peers, really need to put it over 1, so do it. So now I know that I have 1,000 milliliters is equal to 1 liter. Which unit do I put on top? Which one do I put on bottom? So let's see what I have here. I have liters, but I don't want liters at the end. So I'm going to put it down here, use that same number, the 1 liters here, and then put the 1,000 milliliters on top. This way I can get rid of that liters, and I'm left with the unit that I want. So I have this number times 1,000, which still gave me that same number I had before. Alright, so to summarize, use table C. I would highly suggest using or canceling out units. It's probably one of the easiest ways to convert between these. But I did show you 3 different ways. So one is just to move the decimal place over. The second way is to use scientific notation. And then the third is to convert by being able to cancel out units. Whichever way you use, it's fine with me as long as you get the answer right. Take care and have a good day.